Coach, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm ready for questions.
All right, congratulations on a great win. Members of the media, if you have questions for Mike Gundy, go ahead and click the raise hand button. Our first question is going to come from Jenny Carlson from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Jenny.
Hey, Mike, the defensive pressure that you guys were able to get on Brock, it seemed like that was really important. It really kept him on his toes in a way that was really hard for him. It seemed like, how big was that? And specifically, Malcolm had that blitz that caused the intentional grounding play. How big was that in the first half to kind of shift things around?
It was a big part of the game, and he's hard to corral. You know, he's really good. If you make a mistake, he'll dip out and under like he did on the touchdown at the end of the game. And it's difficult to blitz him and pressure him because of his ability to make people miss and get out in the open. But we knew we had to. They're good up front this year, in our opinion, and majority of the formations they're using are tight end heavy, so it's hard to get pressure on him. But our guys were relentless, and we were able to get enough on him at times to keep us in the game and to keep his feet from getting set in the pocket.
What about that blitz up the middle that Malcolm had to really force the issue there? Because you guys turned around and score, I think, 4 plays later.
Yeah, Jim made a good call there, and that was the one that took him out of no, that wasn't one of them took him out of field goal.
Missed a field goal.
Okay, so that was the one, yeah. So that was a huge play in the game. That play, which you helped me on because I couldn't remember when it was, and then number 80 catching the punt on the 1 yard line were two of the biggest plays in the game that didn't have anything to do with the touchdown.
Thanks, Mike.
Our next question comes from Joseph Fazio from the O'Colly. Go ahead, Joseph.
Coach, Joanie and Logan combined for 6 receptions for 81 yards. Can you just talk about the importance of the Cowboy back position today, and especially with Joanie getting that touchdown?
Those guys have been good for us for a number of years, and we just felt like there was an opportunity with the style of defense that Iowa State plays. They're, they have a unique style and they're good at what they do. We felt like that gave us some opportunities. There's some voids, in our opinion, in that spot on the field where those guys are a lot in our alignments.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Our next question comes from Scott Wright from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, Mike, how would you analyze Spencer's play today?
He was good. He made a mistake on the second interception. The play call was we made a play call. They countered it better than we made it, which happens. So, in my opinion, he should have just pulled the ball down and run. He tried to force it into a coverage that's not set or built for that play. His first interception, he just underthrew the ball. They had a guy wide open, and he threw the ball about a foot too low. But his ability to run, he rushed for 82 yards. His ability to run and make plays kept us in the game. At times, convert first downs. A couple times he got pushed out of the pocket, dropped the snap one time, picked it up, made a big play. So we got some things out of him that he shows you that he gives you in practice. He might mistake something and get you in a bad play, but then he might turn around and make 2 or 3 really good ones, and that's what we had today from him. So, Shane had practiced good all week and was ready to go, but there wasn't any point that Spencer was in a position that we needed to set him for any reason. His composure in this game was really good. I got on him a little bit at the end there because he wanted to throw the ball, and we were in a 4-minute offense and up by 10. He doesn't quite understand throwing it when you're up by 10 versus a coach understanding not throwing it when you're up by 10. But other than that, he did a really good job in this game with his composure.
Seemed like you were really comfortable putting the ball in his hands there in the end of the game to go ahead and close it out.
Their style of play, Scott, on defense, you have to be able to hit those lanes, throwing the football where we hit them, and your quarterback has to rush the football unless you're going to be a heavy-set 2 tight end team and just run it down their throat. And that's not who we are. So our matchup has to be a little different.
Thanks, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Our next question comes from Cliff Brunt from the Associated Press. Go ahead, Cliff.
Okay. Coach, can you assess your defense against Breece Hall? Obviously, he had the 2 big runs, but then outside of that, he didn't get a whole lot. Just your thoughts overall on how you performed against him.
Yeah, we got out of position on the long run. They ended up rushing for 227. They had the long one, the 65-yarder that pushed it up there. But and minimizing big plays is such a big part of the game today. Scoring when you get inside the 10 touchdowns instead of field goals, and then minimizing big plays. We gave them that big one, but we forced a lot of punts today, okay? And they're a good football team. They're unusual a little bit with so much 3 tight end style of offense that they run. And if you're not careful, you can get out of your gap. And that's what happened to us a couple times. But overall, I thought that our plan was way better, and it was executed way better than it was when Purdy was here as a freshman. In that game, I thought they got us. And I thought that Jim and them rallied today, had a good plan, and were able to keep us in the game and force some 3-and-outs, or even after we had turned the ball over, not letting them score. Those were 2 huge series in this game.
Our next question comes from Chris Becker from the O'Colly. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, Coach. Good win today. You talked about it earlier with Spencer's running ability. Can you just talk about how important that is to an offense to have a quarterback who can escape the pocket and create plays on his own?
Whatever your quarterback's strength is, I think the best thing coaches can do is play to the strength of their quarterback. That's his strength. He throws the ball well when he's rushing the ball well. So safeties, invert safeties like they play in the middle with, once they start becoming a factor in the run game, that allows him to be a much more effective passer. And so, as we said earlier, I thought he handled himself well, rushing for 80-something yards and then still being able to hit a few throws. He just made the one bad decision. If he wouldn't have done that, overall, you're talking about a big-time day. He's going to be 20 of 29 for 2-something if he just had one pick on the naked, and, he made a poor decision on the other one. Should have just ate the ball and ran it. But, he hadn't played in a while. So it's been – I don't even know how long it's been now, a month and a half maybe. So I was pleased with him, but I'll go back to what I said earlier. I was mostly pleased with his ability to keep his calm and keep his head, and he was cool throughout the game. He didn't lose. He didn't get too competitive, which he does sometimes. I thought he had his composure throughout the game.
And then how does his ability to run help LD and Chuba in their opening up holes for them?
Well, it takes one more guy out of it. When a quarterback has a chance to keep the ball, that's one less guy that can flow front side with the running play. It just becomes a numbers game. And so I'm going to guess that most people that play us are going to be concerned with stopping our running backs. And so somebody's got to stay backside now. That opens up your backside cuts. And there was times that Chew and LD had to make the joker, the robber in the middle of the field, miss 2 yards across the line of scrimmage. But we knew that going in. Our coaches, our offensive coaches knew that there's going to be times where we're going to make that guy's miss. And it's the way it is. We had good running backs, and we told them you're going to have to make a miss sometimes. And for the most part, they did a pretty good job of handling the guy in the middle of the field.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Our next question comes from Sam Kahn from ESPN.com. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Mike, defensively, you guys held them to 3 of 13 on third downs. What made you guys effective there, both today and all season, where you guys have been successful on third downs?
Yeah, I had the 3 of 13 circled right here. I was going to get into that next. They have been really effective on third downs. If you take away their first game, when they really weren't themselves, in my opinion, I don't want to speak for Matt, but if you take that game away, they've been a really effective team on offense, okay? And holding them to 3 of 13 is big. We were 6 of 16, so we were okay. We'd like to be a little better than that. but the 3 of 13 was big.
Our next question comes from Bill Haston from the Tulsa World. Go ahead, Bill.
Hey, Mike, I wanted to ask you, you kind of alluded to this with Scott Wright, but Spencer Sanders, you know, this is his, I think his first complete real game performance in 51 weeks, which is an eternity. Even if you've had a million practices, I mean, there's got to be some rust there, right? And also, but I wanted to ask you about his ability to recover from those mistakes, because it didn't look like he ever let his body language get bad, or he didn't seem to let it get him down.
Yeah. Well, the answer to both of those would be yes. I didn't know it was 51 weeks. I'm glad you didn't tell me that before. That made me nervous. I didn't realize that, but I guess that's correct because he didn't finish last year. So, and then earlier what I was talking about was he did a really nice job with his composure in this game. Spencer's ultra competitive, and he wants everything to be right all the time. And it's not going to be that way in football. It's certainly not going to be that way playing quarterback. And we've discussed that with him, but that doesn't always mean it's going to work out. So he's a much better player, like we all are, when we're calm and we can think. I mean, I got the same problem. I mean, I do it on the headphones sometimes with coaches. I mean, you know, I want to win. He wants to win. But to answer your question is yes and yes. He did a much better job of staying composed.
The two deep plays made by your secondary, Mike, one on a breakup and one on a pick.
Mm-hmm.
Were they? I mean, those were two. I don't remember better plays on deep throws ever made by guys here than those two today.
You know, I think what you were trying to say, Bill, that you were being nice, is over the last 3 or 4 years we hadn't made those plays.
Hey, I'm going back 15 or 16 years, Mike. I mean, those were big.
I can't remember that far back. So yeah. I have a hard time remembering, you know, what I ate for dinner. So, but what I'm saying is if our defense will stay humble and they'll keep practicing hard, they're really practicing good. Our football team is practicing good. I'm trying to get them to ignore the outside sources and tell them how good they are. But what you're saying, you've been covering this for a long time. We haven't made those plays. We haven't laid out like that full extension and knocked the ball down on 3rd and 12. If we don't do it, he's going to catch it, and he's going to run up the field for another 20 yards. And then Peel coming across and going up and making the play and intercepting the ball and not just knocking it away. He intercepts the football. They're gaining some confidence. Confidence is a powerful thing in everything we do in life, particularly in sports. And they're gaining a little confidence. Every day they get a little more confident.
All right. Thank you.
Coach, thanks for your time. Congratulations on the win. Have a great night.
All right. Here's done.
I'm good.
That's good. I didn't realize.
Coach, I accidentally muted you. Would you be able to click unmute on that screen, please?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Bye.
Hey, congratulations on the win. That's a good one. That's a tough team to beat.
No doubt about it. Especially, you know, with their defensive structure, it's hard to go against those guys, and so that's a good win for us. And you know, we moved the ball well at times and racked up some yards. I wish we would have had the points to come with it, but all in all, I thought we moved the ball pretty good today.
Well, very good. Our first question is going to come to you from Jenny Carlson from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Jenny.
Hey, Casey, how are you?
Good, Jenny.
Hey, so early on, you guys were struggling offensively, and I mean, that's a good defense, so I understand some of the reasons why, but then after you get that missed field goal, you guys go down and score so quick, three plays, and you're in the end zone. How important was that possession and just getting those points up on the board?
It was good. You know, I thought the first drive of the game was good. We moved the ball right down the field, you know, and just kind of stalled out there at the you know, once we hit the red zone. You know, crease something here or there, knocking a field goal feels a little bit different, you know, but all in all, I mean, that first drive I thought said, okay, hey, we're going to move the ball against them today. But yeah, to put it on the board, it was good. We needed it just to kind of get it going. And you know, a lot of guys stepped up and made some plays today. So I was happy about how it really turned out at the end of the day.
I know in a game that ends up 24-21, lots has to happen before you get to that. And so that first score may not be the be all end all, but the way the momentum swung there in a pretty quick amount of time, did you feel like that settled the guys a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. But, you know, I feel like we can move the ball pretty good. You know, the hard part for us, I think, and Coach Gundy too, and just us as offensive staff, you want to open up and rip it and throw it all over the yard. But at the same time, our defense is playing so well. You know, you just don't want to give up cheap points. You know, one of the things that's going through my mind is you know, Iowa State, when you go back through, they'd given up a bunch of cheap points against their own defense, you know, whether it was special teams or an offense throwing a pick six or whatever. You know, they just had some points against their defense. And I knew that their defense, at least scoring defense, was a lot better than actually what it looks like on paper. So, yeah, shoot, I just did not want to give something up that was a cheapie against ourselves. Not with the way that Jim and the boys are playing on the dark side.
Cool. Thanks.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Dark side. Down to our last questions here for Casey Dunn. The next question is going to come from Joseph Fazio from the O'Colly. Go ahead, Joseph.
Yeah, Coach, just going back to what Jen was talking about with that 3-yard drive, getting the touchdown. That was a really big play from Jelani Woods, and we don't really see the Cowboy backs going that far out in the open field many times this season. Can you just talk about how that play was drawn up and how big of an impact Jelani and the other Cowboys backs have?
Well, you know, going into it, there was a little bit of a rivalry. They've got a great set of tight ends at Iowa State, and our guys wanted to play well, and we wanted to get our guys active too. So there was a little bit of, you know, motivation from both Logan and Jelani going into the game. So we felt, hey, let's give these guys a couple shots in there, and we did. You know, as Coach Gundy was talking about, I'm sure you saw it throughout the game. They have a middle field player, you know, that's really hard to account for in the run scheme. So, you know, if he's showing up quickly, then you want to try and get something over his head. And we got it at the right time. It was a good action, good play fake, and just kind of got it over top of his head. And we had a chance to make a play. And Jelani did a great job getting it caught and getting across the goal line. You know, I was holding my breath. I've seen way too many of those end up on the, you know, yard line, you know, after they review it. So I was thrilled to get it in there. It's great.
All right. Thanks, Casey.
You bet.
And our final question for Casey Dunn is going to come from Scott Wright from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Scott.
Casey, did it take some time to get comfortable calling plays for Spencer, being that you haven't had a chance to do that for a full game yet?
You know, it was it was a little bit different, you know, because he's so dynamic. You want to use, you know, what's a real strength of his, and that's being able to run the football. But he can throw it too, so it's a little bit of a blend. And we needed it at the end to buy us some time, get us a couple first downs, move the chains, not put our defense in a bad position. And he was able to deliver, you know, with his feet. So that was big. And the other thing too, it's just been a long time for him, you know, since he's played. I mean, I don't think he's played since November last year, outside of, you know, maybe a dozen plays in the beginning of the season, you know, before he got hurt there. So today was the first game for him coming back. And he's kind of cutting his teeth, you know, a little bit for a long time. So it was really good for me to work with him in that regard. And then also I'm sure it's great for him to get back out on the field and get some meaningful snaps again.
And then how important was it to feel like you could trust him with the ball in his hands there at the end of the game to close the door?
Oh, there's never a trust issue that I've got with Spencer. I mean, we're going to count on that guy to close games.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
Coach, thank you so much for taking the time. Congratulations on the win, and have a great rest of your night.
Thank you. All right, go Pokes.
Thanks, all it is. All right, go in. Love it. Love it.
Good job, man.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Good job, Uncle.
Malcolm, congratulations on a win.
Appreciate it, Gavin.
This is winning defense for sure, being played week in, week out. What's your overall perception as a whole now?
We're doing good. You know, we're just going along and just having fun doing it and just working together.
All right, appreciate you. Our first question is going to come from Jenny Carlson from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Jenny.
Hey, Malcolm, how are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. Hey, can you talk us through that that blitz you had on third down when Iowa State was down in the red zone? It forced the intentional grounding. Just what was the call there? What did you see as that play progressed?
It was just Coach Knowles had a good call. It was just both linebackers blitzing A gap, and so we knew one of us was going to come free, and it happened to be me. So I just ended up putting pressure on him. It was a good play call by Coach Knowles.
Coach Gundy mentioned how much of a challenge it is to try to get pressure on Purdy, but how important it is. How did you guys strike that balance between, you know, containing him but also pressuring him today?
We knew that he was going to make plays on his feet, so we tried to, put a little pressure in his face but not lose contain. And Coach Knowles did a good job for the most part.
Thanks, Malcolm.
All right, if you have a question for Malcolm Rodriguez, please click raise hand. Our next question is going to come from Scott Wright from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Scott.
Malcolm, whether it's just that you've been coming free more often or that you're actually blitzing more, it seems like you're blitzing more this year. Is that a change and how different is it for you being coming from your safety background?
It's not different. I mean, just closer coming to the line, but Coach Knowles likes to put pressure on QBs, and, I feel like the defense thrives on putting pressure on that. So I feel like Coach Knowles is making real good calls back there.
Is that a skill that you had to learn in this transition?
Yeah, I mean, it's still a little new, but I always talk to Calvin on, some of his things and kind of pick his brain a little bit. So it's always, always learning every week by week.
How important is it to know that you got one of these big games behind you now, and you can focus on the next step in the Big 12 race?
Yeah, I mean, it feels good, but like Coach Gundy says, tomorrow it's going to be over with, so we got to move on to Texas.
Thanks, bud.
Yep.
Malcolm, congratulations on the win. Have a good night.
Appreciate it. Y'all take care.
Thanks so much for taking the time. Jelani, so happy for you. Seeing you score a touchdown early on there, that's good stuff.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, members of the media, if you have a question for Cowboy back Jelani Woods, please click raise hand. Our first question is going to come from Joseph Fazio from the Ocali. Go ahead, Joseph.
Hey, Jelani, how's it going?
It's good. How about you?
Doing well. When Coach Stum was on, he was talking about that you and the other Cowboy backs were having a little rivalry with Iowa State's tight end. Can you talk a little bit about that and, just how good it felt to get that touchdown today?
First off, it felt really good to get the touchdown. I took my hats off to Spencer because all week we've been hitting home on reading the defense and seeing which one open, and just him having a quick read and then looking for me. And I took my hat off for him because I feel like he had a pretty decent game, pretty good game. As the rivalry standpoint stands, it's always good to have like a competition to go against because I feel like if you have a competition, that just makes you better. So just trying to outplay them, like in that type of theory thought, was really good for as a group because we can just base ourselves like where we at right now and how can we get better.
Yeah, and just going back to that touchdown play, there aren't many times during the season where we see you go that far downfield, and just like when you saw the pass come and see how open you were and able to get a touchdown, just what was going through your mind?
Just capitalize on the opportunity because, like you said, you might not get that many opportunities, and just in general in the game, you might not get that opportunity. So I just try to capitalize and make a play basically and put it in the end zone.
All right, thanks, Jelani.
Our next question is going to come from Scott Wright from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Scott.
I know you guys haven't played a ton with Spencer to this point, but how comfortable were you and how confident was the offense once you got things rolling?
Very confident.
since we had this long stretch break, we pretty much hammered on just the keeping it simple stuff, and just like each play we hammered it multiple times. So kind of built that little trust in each other and chemistry where it was just a simple toss play, like just a simple play where we knew it was going to work regardless.
Did you feel the momentum swing after that drive where you scored?
Yes, sir. Any play, anytime you can make a play like that, or just tie up the score or anything like that, it's a big momentum swing, which puts us in a more positive mindset and space where we know, like, all right, let's go. We was down a little bit, now let's go. We can play.
Thanks, bud.
For sure.
Lonnie, thanks so much for spending some time with us. We appreciate you. Congratulations on the win, and have a great night.
Thank you.
Bro, they got to stop calling me 5'11" on Twitter. I'm not 5'11". I'm 6 foot.
Is that J.R. Smith?
What's up?
Hey, so defense holds them to 3 of 13 on third down. You get 5 3-and-outs in almost every possession, except for the final one there in the fourth quarter is a 3-and-out. It's 4 out of the final 5. Seems like a pretty good day at the office. What'd you think?
It was all right. You said it was 3 of – you said 5 of 15? What was the total for it?
3 of 13.
You said 3 of 15?
3 of 13, yeah.
Oh, 13. Well, that's 3 too many. So, we still got to get better. There's still places to get better. People say around here, it's just we all talk amongst each other. There's always room for improvement. Never get complacent, never be satisfied. So.
All right, Trey, heck of a game. To the media, if you have a question for safety Trey Sterling, please click raise hand. Our first question is going to come from Jenny Carlson from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Jenny.
Hey, Trey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Hey, to be able to contain Iowa State's their tight ends and Purdy, what's the challenge there? How did you guys manage that? Because, obviously having enough guys in pass coverage to handle the tight ends is one thing, but then you guys were able to get pressure on Purdy. How did you guys strike that balance so well?
They're Purdy, Kolar, all the tight ends that Iowa State has, they're all, amazing football players. And so, but when it comes down to it, we just got to do what we do, and we just got to do it better than what they do. So we just brought pressure. That brought pressure on Purdy. He has to get the ball out quick, and with that, quick pressure, you got to man up. And so, Coach Knowles trusted the DB today to man up, Kolar, all the tight ends, and just shut them down, and hopefully get the dub. And that it worked out in our favor. So,
how satisfying is it for you guys to get this win in the fashion that you did, and continue the march towards, potentially a Big 12 title game invitation, and to do it, with defense again? What's that mean for you guys?
It means a lot. Oklahoma State is typically known for the offense. Plays that happen on the offense side of the ball. 56, 62 points in a game. That's what we're known for. We're slowly getting back to that. We were out without our starter for 3 weeks now, so he's getting back in the groove of things. Our offense is getting back to normal, and so it feels exciting to win games on defense for the team, and hopefully we can just continue to be great on defense, and hopefully we can continue to win games, just be 1-0 every week. So,
cool. Thanks, Trey.
Sure, no.
Our next question is going to come from Sudeep Tuma from the O'Collie. Go ahead, Sudeep.
Hey, Trey. I know the third down numbers were mentioned before. You guys have been really good on third down all season long. How important is specifically that attribute to the way this defense is made up?
You said what?
The third. How important is the third down defense to the way this defense is made up?
Third downs are important. If you can't get off the field on third down, you're just going to be out there all day long, and eventually you're just going to keep letting up points and letting up yards and all this other stuff. So getting off the field is an emphasis that we have this year, especially. I don't think we're so much worried about during the game or after the game how what our conversion is or what our percentage is. We're just worried about it every single possession. Just get off the field. We treat it possession by possession, one possession at a time, one game at a time, stuff like that. And so if you can get off the field, you have a great chance of winning. So.
And how do you guys feel you contained Brock Purdy today?
I thought we did well. We could have done a little bit better, but that's with anything that we did today. There's always room for improvement, no matter what, how good we do, stuff like that. But I thought we did pretty well today in terms of, just in the aspect that he's a great quarterback, one of the best in the Big 12, if not the country. So, we did a pretty good job, and I, take my hat off to the D-line today. So.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Trey.
Yes, sir.
Trey, congratulations on the win. Thanks for taking some time with us here today, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks.
I see you went with the shirt. Yeah, too tired. Nice shirt.
Coach, congratulations on a great win. Iowa State is so unique in what they do and so tough, to beat. So congratulations on picking up a win like this.
Thanks. I decided not to go shirtless like Trey, but I am excited about the victory. And
so I'm not in the room with you, but I'm just going to take for granted, or I'm going to assume that Trey was wearing pants, though. Hopefully.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think
that's good.
That's right.
All right. Well, Coach, our first question is going to come from Jenny Carlson from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Jenny.
I'm wondering what it'll take for you to go shirtless, Jim. If
the Big 12, maybe we win the Big 12.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Hey, talk about a couple of things. First, the blitz that Malcolm came free on there in the first quarter forces them into a longer field goal that they miss. What was the call there? What was the hope in bringing the pressure? And then just overall getting to Purdy, the challenge of doing that while not letting him escape and make plays like he can.
Yeah, I thought, it's just one of our standard all-out blitzes. The guys know it like the back of their hand. You like to call those because they feel real comfortable with them, and looking back on it, I probably should have done it more. Purdy is such a threat when he scrambles, and, I think he's an NFL quarterback. And then they have the big targets down the field, and it's just hard to cover them for a long time. So, if I could do it again, I would even bring more pressure. I just think we hung in there against a great quarterback and a great receiver and a great running back. Those were all NFL guys, and I thought our defense responded well.
Cool. Thanks, Jim.
Next question comes from Frank Bonner from the Tulsa World. Go ahead, Frank.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
Hey, Frank.
With you guys being so good on third downs, how important is that to get off the field from a conditioning standpoint so you guys can continue just flying around the way you guys do?
Yeah, the obvious, it prevents long drives for sure, right? So our guys are always fresh. But we want to get the ball back into the hands of our offense. We have a powerful offense. The guys have really bought in to our goals on third and fourth down. I think, they give me a hard time anytime the other team makes one, and that's good. Blame it on me. I had the wrong call, but they take a lot of pride in it, and it wins games, particularly when you have a strong offense getting the ball back into their hands, stealing possessions. That's everything in the Big 12.
Appreciate you.
All right, Coach, thank you so much. Congratulations on the win. Have a great night. We appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks.
Yep, you're good.
Oh, Colby, I have seen about every play you've made as a Cowboy, and I don't think I've seen one quite as spectacular as that interception. Is that can you kind of take us through that one a little bit, kind of what you saw, what was going on through your head, and is that the best play you've ever made?
The best play I've ever made? I don't know. That's a tough one. I have to think on that one. But I didn't really do, and I don't feel like I did anything all that spectacular. I was supposed to be playing in the middle of the field, and Brock Purdy got a lot of confidence in his guys. So coming into the game, I think we were going to have chances where he threw balls up and trusted his guys to go get him, and maybe we could come down with interceptions. And I just went and made a play.
Well, congratulations on the win. It certainly helped the case.
Thank you.
All right, members of the media, if you have a question for safety Harvell Peel, please click raise hand and we'll try and get to you. Our first question is going to come from Scott Wright from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Scott.
Hey, Colby, how do you guys manage confidence versus overconfidence when you're playing as well as you are, maintaining that right level of confidence and not getting overconfident?
I think we just keep our head in the same place it's been all year. Not necessarily letting the outside noise dictate how we feel about our defense, and instead just knowing that with the pieces we got and all the starters that have come back and the camaraderie that this group has, just understanding that we think we got something special inside, and regardless of what's being said, outside the locker room, just knowing who we really are.
Is that difficult sometimes?
I don't think so. I think we go against a really good offense every day that, every now and then gets the best of us in practice to, bring our ass down a peg a little bit. So.
I saw him high point that one.
He did all right. He did all right.
Better put that one on ESPN. You're going to have some problems.
Thanks, Colby.
All right. Any other questions for Colby Harvell-Peel? Well, Colby, thanks so much for taking some time. We appreciate it. Congratulations on the win.
Yes, sir. Here come the man y'all really want to talk to right here. Uh-oh, Big Tom. Come on.
They talked to you first for a reason.
So I feel like the give and take between offense and defense will just never end.
Sorry?
The give and take between offense and defense will just never end, will it?
No.
That's an all-time football thing.
Hey, none of that.
All right. Members of the media, if you have a question for running back Chuba Hubbard, please click raise hand. Our first question is going to come from Scott Wright from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Scott.
Chuba, how did it feel to have Spencer back out there, and what do you think of how he managed things today?
I thought he did a really, really good job. I mean, it's technically his first game, all season, so it's been a long time for him. But he's been working hard to get back healthy, working hard to fix the things that he's had trouble with, and I thought he played great. He was leading us. He was doing a lot of the right things. You make mistakes sometimes. You got to move on from it. But overall, I thought he did great.
When you say he's leading you, what does that kind of look like? What is he like as a leader?
I mean, just somebody that pushes you on, brings you on. I mean, you just see it, on the field. Lead by example, especially. There's times where he makes plays where you're just like, what's this boy doing? Like, he's unstoppable, and he'll just keep going. Even if he makes a mistake, he'll just keep going and keep going and keep going. That pushes all of us along because it shows, 2-second mentality, next play. So, I'm proud of him.
Thanks, Chuba.
Our next question is going to come from Chris Becker from the O'Colly. Go ahead, Chris.
Chuba, how does having a guy like Spencer who can run the ball pretty well help you and as a running back hit holes and create more holes for you?
I mean, you see it yourself. It makes the defense stay true, stay loyal. They gotta respect him, and if they don't, it's gonna pay. And even if they do respect him, it's gonna hurt. But I mean, it just shows you he's special on his feet, special throwing the ball.
Awesome, thank you, Chuba.
5 OSU points for you for dropping loyal and true into a actual answer in a question. Our next question is going to come from Cliff Brunt from the Associated Press. Go ahead, Cliff.
Yeah, Chuba, if you could just put this win into perspective. I know it's relatively early in the season, but, it's a big, you played a team that was undefeated in league play. You remain undefeated in league play. How important is it?
I mean, every game is important for us. I mean, no matter if it was our first game, our second game, our 8th game, whatever game it is, every game is important for us. And, like I've always said and everyone else has said, our goal is to make it to the Big 12. So, excuse me, we know how important every game is. So, I mean, we just come out every game and do our best and hope for the best.
Appreciate it.
All right, Chuba, congratulations on the win. Thanks for taking a little bit of time with us, and have a great rest of your night.
Appreciate it. All right, hey, you gonna come?
Spencer, it seems like forever since we've seen you get a whole game start to finish. Did you feel like you proved something maybe to yourself and to the outside world with your performance today?
To the outside world, it's always a thank you, and we always appreciate the fans. But I do this for my team, and I do this for the fans too as well. So I should say that. But this was more for my team, and I was really frustrated with myself of getting hurt. So I'm really happy that I'm back, and a little frustrated with myself. 2 turnovers today, but I'm gonna let it go. A little rust, just let the rust fall off, and we're gonna get back next week, and we're just gonna keep doing what we do. So, all in all, it was a great team win. It feels great to get back, and we're just gonna keep getting better every week.
Gotcha. Hey, really appreciate you wearing the mask, but if you're alone in the room, we're comfortable with you going with no mask if we can go with no mask in the same situation. There you see, that's a pretty face right there. Look at that. All right. Hey, our first question is going to come from Cliff Brunt from the Associated Press. Go ahead, Cliff.
Yeah, so Spencer, it looked like you ran pretty aggressively today. You've had some injury problems the last couple of years. Given that, how do you get yourself into the mindset to run as hard as you did today?
Well, as you can see, I ran hard, but I never let anybody one-on-one and just take me out. I was always laying my body to the side, or knowing I was going to get tackled, just going down, rather than taking that extra hit. So I feel like I didn't really take no head-on hits today, and that's good. And I just want to keep running the way I'm running and protect the ball and do what I can to help this team. So I feel like I ran good today, and I feel like Chuba ran amazing today. And I feel like he had great on the runs that he had, and I just feel like we can just keep this going and just keep building. I mean, we can be amazing.
Appreciate it.
Our next question is going to come from Chris Becker from the O'Colly. Go ahead, Chris.
Spencer, this is your first game, like Gavin said, in quite a while. Walk me through the feeling before this game and your mindset of, how you went into it.
Well, I had a lot of time to study, so I watched a lot of film. And I made sure, I was constantly telling myself I'm not going to come back the same as last year. And I feel like I really made a difference. I know I had my interceptions, and I'm frustrated with myself for that, but I feel like I responded well. And I wanted to show everybody in this team, I want to come different this year, and I want to do the best I can for this team because they deserve it.
And how did it feel to be back out there and start getting hit more and more?
It feels good to get out there. It's just I haven't felt that adrenaline rush in a long time, and I felt good. I felt comfortable. I made some mistakes, but I feel like where I changed from last year this year is I responded, and I just dropped just the next play mentality. So I feel like that was good too.
Awesome. Thank you, Spencer.
Do you feel like maybe there is any way that the time off was beneficial to you as far as in just development and processing through things?
Definitely beneficial. Letting my ankle heal and kind of getting me back to 100%. So it definitely benefited me. But, at this point, I'm just itching for another game. I'm just ready to show what I got and do it again. So now I hope it doesn't happen again, and I hope we just start rolling.
Sounds like a caged lion that just got let free.
Sounds like it to me.
All right. Is there anybody else have any questions for quarterback Spencer Sanders? Our next question is going to come from Sudeep Tuma from the O'Colly. Go ahead, Sudeep.
Hey, Spencer. When the defense is playing the way it is, does it kind of change your guys' approach on offense? Maybe the way you kind of make decisions late in the game when the game's pretty close?
No, not necessarily. If you're speaking on the pick I threw, I would just say that was just a careless mistake on my part. But we got a great defense, but at the same time, we've got to do what we do. So it's a mentality of no matter what the defense does, we have to do what we do because at the end of the day, the defense can't help us on offense. So we have to stick together and do what we do. And I know our defense is great. So yeah, is it comforting to know that I have them on my back? Yes, it's amazing because I know we have an amazing defense, and I'm so happy for them today because they played amazing. They held a great team to 21 points. So I feel like we played great. All in all, I fixed my 2 interceptions and a couple of penalties that we got. I feel like we can do great things. So, like I said, we're just going to keep getting better every week and fix those mistakes.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Spencer.
All right, our final question is going to come from Danielle Dwyer. Go ahead, Danielle.
Yeah, Spencer, it's been a while for you, but when you have 21 days between games overall as a team, you guys came out just with that sense of urgency, and instead of coming out flat like some teams might do after such a long hiatus like that. What was the discussion going into this, or was there one, or, how good did it feel just to get out and have a good drive like that to open up the game?
Well, since these 3 weeks we've had practicing, I've been really harping myself on just tempo and just going fast. So I made sure I brought that into this game, and I felt like we were just up to tempo. We were moving. I was trying to get the offense as fast as we could go, and I felt like we were moving really fast, and everybody really enjoyed that tempo. It wasn't too fast, but it wasn't slow. So my main focus going into this game was just to make sure we go fast and just keep that tempo, that Oklahoma State culture tempo.
And Coach Gundy's been talking the last couple of weeks just about how this next month of games for you guys is really going to be a good telltale of where you really are as a team, both offensively and defensively. I know it's only 1 game in, but how would you assess just this first game in the next month that you guys have with such tough opponents ahead of you?
We're just going to take it day by day and week by week. We play Texas next week, so we're going to focus on Texas, and we're going to do the same thing we did with Iowa State. We're going to practice hard, and we're just going to keep doing what we do. And we know that if we do what we do and we do it right, no MAs, and just keep practicing hard, we can win any game that we want to win. So, like I said, we just got to keep our mindset right and just keep doing what we do.
Thanks.
Spencer, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming in, hanging out with us here for a little bit. Congratulations on the win. Have a great rest of your night.
Thank you. You'll have a nice night.
Thanks. Members of the media, thank you as well. We appreciate you as always.